love yourself enough to invest in yourself. You see, we spend so much time investing in other things. People invest in life covers and all. But that will take care of you once you are dead. And I don't know what is called that. It's not taking care of you. But invest in yourself. Widen your horizon to understand what is marriage. Widen your horizon to understand what is a man, what is a woman.
Good afternoon to all our followers and those that follow the work of Mr. Basil B. Mokoena, the writer and author of the best-selling novel Is Love Really Blind and Marriage an Eye-Opener. My name is Takadani Mcharini, and today I'm joined by Mr. Basil Mokoena and Masara to unpack a topic called When to Start Preparing for Life After Singlehood, which I think is going to be a very interesting topic to all those that are looking forward to life after singlehood. Today, I believe that one of his novels is Something You Must Know Before You Say I Do, will be very relevant for today's session. So if you have it, I would advise that after today's session, you can go and read it. If you do not have it, please reach out to us and we'll ensure that you have a copy. Welcome, Mr. Mokoena.
Thank you very much, and thanks for the wonderful words of introduction. Indeed, today we want to look into basically the right time to start preparing for marriage. There are people who build houses because they've got money. Imagine somebody says, no, today I'm going to start building the house because you've got money. But did you really think about what type of a house you need? Where is your house supposed to be located? Where's the house supposed to face? The view. These days, I live in Johannesburg, on the mountain of Parktown. The view, when you are in that house, you look over Malaysia Dam and the Johannesburg Zoo. The view is about that. So it's very critical that when somebody says, I want to move away from singlehood, they need to have a plan. They need to prepare. Most things go wrong in life because of lack of preparation. So today's topic will be delving on that more than any other thing. Thanks very much.
No, thank you so much, Mr. Mokoena. Masara, welcome also. I know that we've been trying to get you to sit with us, and we're happy that you're here today.
Thank you so much for the invite, and I'm happy to be part of the panel and to be part of a most interesting topic as well.
No, thanks.
Oh, yes.
Mr. Mokoena, I'll be firing a lot of questions to you, and Masara, notably, before while we're preparing for this, doing just a discussion, myself and her, she was, I think today, we'll knock you off a little bit. But firstly, I want to ask you, Mr. Mokoena, how would you describe singlehood?
That's a very brilliant question. Some people mistaken singlehood for loneliness, for being alone. Singlehood is a state in the life of a person. This is a person who is not attached to anyone. This person that is not in any relationship, is not married to anyone. And if I were to go further, their soul are still pure in many respects. So there are so many people today who are hitched. I will talk at length about this when we meet on the 14th and 15th of June, because I will be trying to differentiate, to show people that it's very possible to be hitched or to be married, and yet you don't even know that you are married. So singlehood is a state wherein this particular individual is not attached to anyone. So in our topic, we'll be looking into this particular person who is single, not who's lonely, not who's alone, because there are so many people who think, I need to get married because I'm feeling so lonely. I've written at length about the wrong reasons for getting married. So singlehood is a state wherein this particular individual, their soul is still intact. They are by themselves. They are not attached to anyone. And then they then start thinking about moving beyond that particular stage. Thanks.
Okay, so Mr. B, so would you define that to be like maybe someone that is celibate?
Being celibate is I will say, somebody who will make a choice that I'm not going to be attached to anyone for the rest of my life. You will know about monks and nuns, and unfortunately, this is not common in our environment. But in the ancient time, particularly in Italy or Rome, they used to have these people that they will say, I'm dedicating my life to the church. I'm not going to get married. I'm not going to be with anyone. That is another space where somebody make a conscious decision that they are not going to be attached to anyone. But if you have read my book, Is Love Really Blind and Marriage An Opener, you will realize that people talk celibate, but when you go and check, they are doing something behind closed doors.
No, thank you for that, Mr. Mgwena. So, when is the right time to start preparing for marriage?
I will always advise that the right time to start preparing for marriage is the time you start thinking or preoccupying yourself with the idea of getting married. Look, the idea will always come. Something will trigger that. As you grow, you get to early adulthood, you start feeling something. You start being restless or whatsoever. That is the right time to start thinking, what is it that I want in life? Because it will be very horrible to say, okay, now I'm 25, this is a marriage age in our society, then I must get married. But you never even give yourself time to think deep. If I say now, say for example, I'm a man, I want to get married, what do I need to do? You see, in the past maybe it was easy. I remember my father once told us that his father, all they needed to do was just to take a picture, gave it to some people, and then they went to say, you see this one is working in Joburg, he's got a lot of money, he will take care of the family. And they go and mislead the poor kid. And my grandpa's picture, it was taken when he was 25, and at that point he was 40 or so. So those are some of the things that, so in nowadays, you ask yourself, you want to get married, then what? You are working, you've got all the money in the world, then what? It's a question of, when you get to that particular stage, you ask yourself, what do I want in life? People make a mistake. Each and every person is graced differently. You need to know your capacity. You don't go out and say, I want to get married, I want that one. You don't even know yourself. Everybody has their own temperament. You don't know yourself. So start by knowing yourself. Start by knowing your limitations. This is what I can do. This is what I can. This is the type of person that I need, because you do not. Say for example, you want to build a garage, a parking slot. You want to build a parking slot for a Hummer, but you build something like for a Mini Cooper. A Hummer will just trample over that thing. So you need to know your capacity. You need to know what you are graced in. Your tolerance level also. You need to also, before you say, I want to get married to a lady or so, you need to also take your time to understand. Men are men, women are women. The two genders are never the same. The two genders never see things the same way. You need to orientate yourself. I've written at length about that in Something You Must Know Before You Say I Do.
No. Thank you so much, Mr. Mgwena. I think this is a very, very interesting topic, and I know that those that are connected with us, they are really enjoying it. So if you have any question that you would also like for us to ask Mr. Mgwena, please do share it on the comment section on both platforms, whether you're on YouTube or Facebook. Mr. Mgwena, the next question, few set of questions, I'm going to structure them around religion. Right? Because I know you've written at length and your books, all of them, I know they are centered around Christianity. The question I'm going to ask, is it important? Like, how important is prayer in the process of preparing for marriage, in the process of preparing for life after singlehood? Would you encourage someone to pray? And what kind of role does it play? Because I know there's been a lot of inputs around that aspect of praying for a partner, the kind of partner you want, and so forth.
Perhaps let me start here by also clarifying what prayer is. Prayer is that level where you say you acknowledge that there is a deity, there is a bigger God somewhere. Therefore, you need God to intervene in your situation.
Yes.
Here's a reality of living. Most people don't realize, I've said it so many times, that life is spirit. When we say this is a person, is spirit, body, and soul. Life is spirit. Just about everything that you deal with on a day-to-day basis is impacted from the spirit realm. You'll be making a very serious and a deadly mistake to think about getting married, looking into just a physical attribute of a human being, for example. It's like buying a car because you like its color.
Okay.
What you are looking at on a daily basis, say for example, you say, oh, you see Ntate what or that sister when you braid. What you are looking at is a cage.
Yes, like
A person is inside.
Wow, it's like judging a book by its cover.
Yeah, you're judging a book by its cover. You don't know the content. So it's only when you pray and say, God, I am a human being with limitations. Now I think I'm at that stage wherein I want to get married. Please intervene in my situation because you are the all-knowing God. I do not know. The Bible says the steps of a righteous man is ordered by the Lord. You say, God, please guide me. You know, in the Bible there was a fellow who said, I want to get married, but this is a test. I'm not saying go try it. The fellow said, no, I'm taking the camels to the well to go and drink, to get water. Whoever is going to put water into the bowl to feed my camel, that's the one that I'm going to get married to.
Yeah, that's risky.
So I'm saying don't try it at all if you're not sure, because you will say, Lord, the one who will pass in front of my car the first time is the one. You'll land yourself in trouble. So basically, in terms of prayer, you say, I need divine intervention. I'm a human being who can be limited by what I see, but what I perceive and what I feel. But God, you are all-knowing. You know, there are people who make serious prayers and say, Lord, until I hear you, until I have that peace within me. Because, say for example, we know these days, you guys, before you want to get married, you are whispering to that one, and whatsoever. The next thing you say, God, and like, who's the right one between all of them? And God will be surprised. And like, what are you doing? So some of these things, you say, God, let me, the one that is destined for me, when I'm in conversation with them, let me have that peace. You will know when you have peace. I've said it so many times. There are times when you think you are walking on this particular street, and something within you keep telling you, man, don't. But you say, but God, I think we are jealous of me. Yeah, because God will be speaking to you through your conscience. Please. But you say, look at that hand. Hey, here's one thing I must emphasize. God is a very just God. He will not violate your will. He has given every human being a will. Even a will to choose to defy him. For example, when he says to your conscience, something does not add up, something does not add up, and you keep saying, no man, God, please, I think this one I can fix. This is the last hope for me. God will let you be. And God will let you be. And He will not be forced, He will not be compelled to bless what you have started. I mean, it's like you collect the devil's material and build a house and say, God, come and bless it. God did not start that. So it's very critical that each and every human being, if you understand that you're a spirit being, you reside in a body, then you need to acknowledge that there is a higher authority, which is God. Therefore, submit your will to God so that He can guide you to get to the right person.
Okay.
Thanks very much.
That's very interesting. Sorry to jump through, TK. So, but I was thinking now to say, yes, you're praying, yes, you're believing, yes, you're talking to God, but during that time, what are you doing?
You wait.
Like in the physical, you wait.
You wait upon the Lord. Remember, I said, you are a human being. You are praying, and you're saying, I mean, remember Juju saying, Mama, show us the signal. Yeah. When you are praying, what are you saying to God? You say, God, I'm looking for a partner. I think you guys, you want to take my message of June 16th because some of these things I'm not ready to share them now. But at that point, you are saying, God, please show me a signal. You do not just simply fold your arms and say, yeah, I have spoken. God will show me the signal. God knows the extent to which you are able to detect. God will speak to you through your soul. Some a conscious, I don't know, a better. It's a simple thing. Somebody can tell you, you know what, I wanted to go to Durban today, but for some reason, man, I just feel like, no, I just don't feel like going. I don't feel like going. Or I wanted to drive to go wherever. And by the time you get there, you don't feel like going. And then when I decide, Mara, I need to go there. And before you know it, you are involved in some accident and everything. But when you have prayed, you wait. And you don't stop. You become persistent. For example, there are people who, you see, God says, come and reason with me. There are people who make it very clear. God, until I see this, God, I understand persistence. When somebody persists that this is what I want to see, God will honor that because you are a human being like God. For example, I always teach, if you follow some of my teachings, I always talk about the power of confession. The power of spoken word. For example, when you say, anyone who comes my way simply to play with me, I want them to be exposed. I want them to not to even last a week in my life. God will honor that because that is your persistent prayer. You make that confession. Like God, you are a creative being. You create your future with your own words. So when you say, God, I want to get married, my partner has to be like this and that and that and that. Any chance taker, I want that chance taker to be exposed. You find this chance taker coming your way, and the next thing, he says, sister, let's go out and whatsoever I'm going to. You find this card bouncing full time, and they make him wash dishes and the fuel,
And please God.
Yeah. So some of these things, you may look at it as mundane or minor things, but these are serious and everybody does get a son at some point.
But then the preparation, where does it come in? While you're waiting?
You see, the moment, you see everything. Let me talk about, I was giving an illustration of a house. You want to have a house, right? You want to own a home of some sort. When do you start? Do you just wake up and go and buy material and call some fellow, hey, who heard that you're a builder, come?
No.
First of all, you must visualize that. The moment you start visualizing that, you have a mind map that this is the future that I want. I like some of they call it an artist impression. You find these fellows, they draw a mall, they even say, opening November 29, 2025. But guys, this is April 2024. They say opening. They even show people pictures of people and everything. Yeah, people having fun. You look at that. Somebody had a mind map. Then they put a sketch on the floor. Everything they do until they get the end result, that is their preparation. So the moment you start thinking, you know what, at this point in time, I think I am ready. I am, because it's one thing to say, I want to get married. You know, people sometimes, particularly people from some churches, they have this tendency, no, God is time for me to get married. But dude, are you working? Do you have anything? Are you going to be able to provide? Stop this ignorance. Oh no, the Lord shall provide. I mean, God was speaking to Abraham at that point in time. The Lord shall provide. What are you doing? So you need to be ready physically, I mean age-wise, materially, you need to have something to take care of your family with, and spiritually, because ultimately, once you cross that line, you have the obligation to take care of, to have a covering over your family. You need to pray for your family. So if you're not ready physically, age-wise, you're not ready materially, you don't have a cent to even pay lobola, and you spiritually, you are just lalile, then you're creating a disaster.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Mr. Mgwena. To our followers, please do keep those questions coming in. Today we're discussing steps to take while you prepare for life after singlehood. I'm with Masara and Mr. Basil B. Mgwena. This is quite an interesting topic. I think so far we have unpacked that one of the things you need to do, especially if you believe in God, if you're a Christian, you need to be praying for the kind of partner that you want, and you need to be praying and be making confessions of the kind of partner that you want and what you don't want, and be clear and start visualizing the kind of life that you want, the kind of person that you want. Like Mr. Mgwena also made an illustration of, if you're gonna build a house, you don't just bring workers and buy bricks and say start. You start by visualizing it, process of planning and so forth. So that's very key. I think, Mr. Mgwena, while we're still on the Christian aspect of things, you mentioned a very important aspect that I think this usually applies to male figures, right? To say that you need to be working. You can't just go and take umtwana bantu. Maybe you find that that person is well off at home, is being taken care of at home. So there's that particular preparation around a male figure. So how do I, as a male, prepare for marriage? I think that's the direct question. How do I prepare for marriage as a male figure? I mean, you mentioned that firstly, I must be working, or I must have some form of income. But also there's an issue now, like going around society to say, no, women are after money. If I don't have money, no one is gonna marry me. And what? So how would you clarify that aspect, and how do I need to get prepared as a male Christian figure?
Why should they agree to get married to you if you don't have money? No, Mara, maybe the church will excommunicate you. But that's true. You say you want to get married. Remember, your Bible says, a man shall leave his father and mother. The father and mother are the ones who have a house. So a man has to leave a father and mother and go and cling to their wife. You cling to your wife, I'm cooking. Like you gave an example.
Yeah.
Wanabatu is living very well with the father and mother. She has no obligation to leave a father and mother. Where now you have an obligation to leave your father and mother. Now you want to take her from, okay, I don't want to, people are in other provinces. You want to take this person from Santen to Ekenhof. I'm glad there are people who don't know what Ekenhof is. So how do you explain that? You expect your marriage is going to work because niatandana.
Yeah, that's true.
So you need to, a man historically has always been looked at as a provider. Yes, we cannot discount the fact that women are working these days and everything, but you cannot go and live on a woman's blood. Why is a man supposed to be a provider? You have a serious ego. You've got a serious ego. I mean, we deal with a lot of issues wherein people fight. No, you see, she's taking me for granted because she's earning a higher salary than me. Really, guys? It's a reality. Sometimes people earn higher salaries and the like. Live with it. If you are not comfortable with it, you should have thought about it and choose your kind. Because there is this thing, I know people are not comfortable talking about it. I gave an example, I saw some reaction that sometimes when I, as a woman, you know, I feel it in my heart, I'm going far in life. But you go and allow yourself to be married to an Uno.
Yeah.
And Uno will be good enough to take him from Joburg to Polokwane. Because once you submit yourself to the Uno, when yes, you are carrying a vision of a Range Rover Sport, you're going to subject yourself. You'll have to downgrade your thinking, your ideas. Because on the other side, you are told, submit. Yes, you have agreed to when you're going to submit. You have to submit to the Uno. Whereas your vision is going far. Where you're going, you need a serious machine. But you have compromised yourself in this regard. So the man on the other side has that obligation. Look, it doesn't matter that a woman is working or your wife is working. Remember, a woman comes into your life to support you, to help you as a helper. How do you help a person who's not doing anything? A person is just chilling and saying, no, my wife is working. And like when you are the one who's supposed to be married, if that is the case. So as a man, you really need to get your act or your house in order before you dream of getting. And by working, we don't mean no, wake up and go wherever. You start your own business, do something. Do something. You know, I've checked this thing out. The most dangerous people in life are people who are loitering, who are doing nothing. Their minds are idle. They become a playground for any idea that comes. People who are focused are people who are busy. Somebody who's busy doing something, they will pay attention. Whenever they are given something, they will pay attention because they know the essence of working. So, man, go and work. Yes, she may be earning higher than you. And I'm not saying go and do 3 part-time jobs and neglect your family just to try to try to compete there. You can't parallel her. Just accept, okay, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, but you should not put an obligation on her that no. Now that she's working and she's earning a higher salary than me, she must take care of the house, she must pay school fees and everything. You are the provider. You are the head of the family. Something that people don't want to hear. To be heresy to some that you are the head of the family. But you are. Thank you.
So in this preparation of marriage, are we saying that love is not enough?
Oh, that's the worst thing that you can do.
Because I can hear you trying to
It's not enough.
explain the financial part, but then like
the worst thing that you can fool yourself with is love. That's the word. Hey guys, love is an ingredient. You know, when you are baking scones and everything, you got yeast, you got eggs, you got the powder, and you got now I'm exposing. You got raisins. I know these things. You've got all those are ingredients put together. They bring you a scone. But imagine now you go and take an egg and say, this one is the one that I like. I'm going to hang on to this. That's what you're saying about it. Love is just one of those entities. Maybe they are good enough to bring you together, and then you need to have that commitment. Or no, I have chosen to live with this particular. Hey, love is not enough. Most people that are divorced today, they will tell you frankly, I still love my husband, I still love my wife, but you're not together. what's happening? There are more pressing issues once you think about crossing that line. You must never allow anybody to lie to you that, oh, I love my man, I love my woman so much, then we are okay. You will be setting yourself up for disaster.
Yeah, I've heard people like settle for worst case scenarios that I don't want to mention, and they say, no, but I love him, or I love her, or she loves me, or you know. So I do concur with what Mr. Mugwena is saying. I don't think love is enough. So Mr. Mugwena, there's speaking about preparation, there's this notion that while I'm waiting to find someone that I can marry, I can be busy dating, and then how will I know that this person is the one if I'm not going out,
doing something,
mingling with people and all that?
Calm down.
What have you oh, how would you advise someone in that particular situation who's saying, look, I do want to get married, but the person won't fly from heaven and come to me, so I need to be going out, mingling with different people, and then in that process I'm gonna meet someone.
Yo, Jesus Maria. You see, you guys, you are drilling into my soul. I will be talking about soul ties when we get to Mpumalanga in June. The worst thing that you can do to yourself is to bond yourself with another human being before, or who you are not married to. Sometimes out of ignorance, we do not know this nice thing called mingling. We're just mingling, we're just having fun. We are just test driving a car. How do you buy a car without test driving it? Even the most expensive cars, they say, no, test drive it. Why would I, should I? And I pity, and I not only pity females, I also pity males. Because in that process of test driving, you are killing yourself. In that process, when you say, you know what, no, we just want to see whether we are compatible. We are off to Durban. I mean, I don't know whether people still go to Durban. Durban, July, or people go to Dubai. Yeah, let's say you're going to Dubai just to see whether we're compatible with each other. People who may tell you the truth will tell you that this exercise that we're just going to see if we're compatible. You go to Dubai, that hotel, and sleep, share a bed. Something dies in your soul immediately after that. You will feel a high level of impurity. You will feel something has tempered with your soul. Because at that moment, the moment you sleep with this particular person in the name of test driving or whatever, mingling and all sorts of things, you are condemning yourself. I always say the best thing to do is that unfortunately nobody teach these things. I don't know if people will teach this. When you start dreaming of all these things, get yourself a mentor. Get yourself somebody who's well grounded in their marriage and say, hey, these days I start having dreams. I start having even wet dreams and all sorts of things. I do not know what is going on with me. Get somebody who will say, dude, from now onwards, you are accountable to me. If you say you're going to meet that boy or that girl, I want you to bring that boy or girl to. You know, sometimes we throw away good practices because of ignorance. I know there was this church, or there is this church, Assemblies of God. I used to be a member of Assemblies of God growing up. They used to say, a sister is a temptation, a brother is a temptation. When you say you want to get married, you must go and tell the pastor or a deacon and say, I want to get married. The pastor will say, do you see that one? I think that one she will be good for you.
Oh, so they choose for you, basically.
Look, I may not know the details, but yeah, people used to be interviewed. They will go and call, bring your boy here. They grill the boy, and the boy will run away. After that. Unlike when you go and perform your experiment. So if you find somebody who's well grounded and say, please mentor me in this stage, because that is the most dangerous stage. Because remember, you are mingling, you are test driving, and after that you say, no, but this doesn't work for me. But you have opened holes all over your soul. Then even tomorrow when you know you get somebody, with your soul, I mean, there's a song, man, wherever you go, please take a piece of me with you. That moment when you sleep with this particular person, that particular person becomes bonded with you in your soul. You can no longer detach yourself. Even when you, remember when you are mingling and you say, we're just dating, we're just kissing, we're just, you know what? When I think of you, I can't think of any other, I'll never love anybody the way I love you. Remember, those are words, I spoke about words earlier. Those are words that you are speaking into the spirit realm. I'll never love someone the way I love you. Fine. 2 weeks down the line, Joe drops you. You said, I'll never love someone the way I love you. Some fellow comes through, is serious and everything, but those words are still ringing in the hollow, in the sky, in the spirit realm, saying, no, but this one can never love anyone the way he loves Joe. And then you find that now you are with this particular person, but you don't feel anything because the spirit realm says, well, now remember, you cannot love anyone the way you love Joe. So please, don't please. So some of these things, out of ignorance, we think, no, we're just mingling and all sort of things. And again, our generation, if there's one thing that our generation doesn't want, is to be held accountable. I can ask, who's holding you accountable? For example, this Saturday afternoon, we are out doing this talk and everything. Who knows where you are at any given point in time? Nobody. In our times, people are their own persons. They don't want to be held accountable. But the moment you understand that, you know what, if you mess up in this area, it will affect your walk to marriage. And if you mess up in marriage, I do not care how well grounded you are in any area. If you fail in your marriage, everything will be discounted. It doesn't matter. Everything. Suppose you're failing in your marriage, you will not have peace of mind. And your failure starts there, where you were supposed to start preparing, but instead you put yourself in this modern thing. We are mingling, we are test driving, and all sorts of things. Thanks very much.
No, thanks, Sister Mgwena. Because of time, I know this is a very interesting topic and we're all enjoying it. Because of time, I think we have reached a stage where we need to conclude. I really cannot wait for the singles tour in June. Please do stay tuned. More details will be published. You must be a part of that particular tour. I mean, we'll have all the time in the world to go deeper into these issues, to address even the personal questions or clarities that you may want Mr. B to assist you with. This is a tour for singles. When you're married, please don't even come closer. We don't want to be accused of breaking homes. So, Mr. Mgwena, in conclusion, in summary, what are the takers or the pointers that you can give someone who's saying, okay, I've been single, but now I'm ready to be married? What are the pointers or steps that you can give someone who's preparing for that, in summary, to say, okay, in order for you to form part of the statistics that will have successful marriages? Because you've spoken at length also about the devastating high rates of divorce in our country. And you've spoken at length about the need for someone to be prepared to go through some form of consultations, counseling sessions, preparing them before they get married in order to avoid things like divorces. What are the points or takers that you can give someone who's currently watching this particular show or video, or who's gonna come across or stumble across this particular message, to say these are the takers that if you want to have a successful marriage, this is how you should prepare?
I will say, love yourself enough to invest in yourself. You see, we spend so much time investing in other things. People invest in life covers and what, but that will take care of you once you are dead. And I don't know what is called that. It's not taking care of you. But invest in yourself. Widen your horizon to understand what is marriage. Widen your horizon to understand what is a man, what is a woman. Because if you get into that stage and you do not know what a man is, I mean, men always complain, yo, women are so complicated. You ask what's wrong, nothing. You know, and on the other side, women find men to be very complicated.
Yeah.
And men says, no, we are so straightforward. We are very, understand, I've written about the differences between men and women. And what is it that, invest in yourself, read. One thing that I will try and insist on, find someone who you can be accountable to. Because if you're not accountable to anyone, anything will give you its own assignment and you will run with it, and before you know it, you'll waste your life. And of course, meet us at Kruger, 14 June 2024. We'll talk at length about some of the things. Thanks very much.
Thanks. Masara, do you have any last inputs? Or any question? Maybe
I think we covered a lot, and I think we're still going to cover a lot during this tour. So I think more or less it's just more of like an open conversation that opened more eyes in terms of like there's more to learn around being single and jumping into marriage. So yeah, for now I don't have any questions. I'm just grateful that I was part of the panel. Thank you.
No, thank you so much. There's a lot of questions here in front of me,
Yeah.
but unfortunately, we cannot be able to dive into them now.
Yeah.
Questions around social media. So once again, thank you, Mr. Mgwena, for pouring your heart out today. Thank you, Masala, for being part of this discussion. Thank you to our technical team that makes all this possible. And of course, I want to thank our followers, our viewers. Without you, none of this would be possible. Mr. Mgwena has dedicated his life towards empowering all of you guys, and you are very near and close to his heart. We wish to see you in the June Singles Tour. Please make sure that you book your space. There's limited space. More details will follow after this particular session. Thank you so much. Please follow us on our Facebook page, Islam Room, Blind and Marriage and Eye Opener. You can catch more content on our YouTube page, Basil Mugwena, and on TikTok as well, Basil Mugwena. We really appreciate you. Have yourself a blessed Saturday and Sunday. Thank you so much.